During instruction, the strategies I use to help my students organise information typically come from graphic organisers. When it's declarative knowledge, it's really important that I prompt them to tease out the key word in the question and get them to think about what is that question actually asking, and then from there, that typically it can be associated with a way to structure their answer. It can be very easy to lose sight of why we're learning what we're learning. So particularly with year 11 and 12 ATAR, we always refer to the syllabus. But in terms of real world learning, it's those little memorable experiences in class I find in terms of memory retention really go a long way. And with human biology assessments, terminology is typically where the marks are coming from. So if I can give them some sort of way to remember those things, like cavity being the space in the teeth, but when cavity is also applying to embryonic development, if that's that little link that I can make for them and that helps them be more successful in their answers. Those sort of graphic organisers, Venn diagrams, flow charts are really, really great ways for students to digest particularly large or quite complex concepts. So it's a little bit more digestible and a little bit more manageable at their level. Okay, that is going to become the embryo, which then becomes the fetus, then becomes the baby. So could you please, on your whiteboards, construct a label and annotated diagram of a blastocyst? So on your whiteboards, you're constructing a diagram. It must be labelled with names and annotated. If you would like to annotate descriptions, you may. So thinking about the structure of those three features of your blastocyst.
I think vocabulary is extremely important when you are looking at KLAs and integrating it between your different subjects as well, because you're wanting to give them multiple opportunities to be able to connect the learning together and for them to have a really deep understanding of what those words actually mean and how they can use it in further lessons as well. What are some reasons why timber plantations are one of the largest manufacturing industries? Well, we can link it back to our text. Okay, and in our text it said that it employs 80,000 people. Okay, and it creates things such as paper. Right, we could be making furniture. We could also link it back to one of our 6 key principles. Okay, so I would like for you to have a think. We need to give a reason as to why it is one of the largest manufacturing industries within Australia. When you have come up with a reason, show me that you have got your reason. Why are some practices not sustainable? Okay, why are some practices on these farms not sustainable? Have a think. And when you've got your thought, capture it. Right, pair, share, go.
I help students to organise their knowledge by giving them a really clear step-by-step definition of how to solve a problem so they can organise their knowledge sequentially. I also give them examples and non-examples, especially if we've learnt lessons like perpendicular lines versus parallel lines. I might give them 2 different ones and they can compare and contrast to learning that they might have done in other lessons. Now I know when I see the word sum, I'm going to be using addition. So let's have a look at my place value discs over here. Whenever we are adding using place value, I always start in the ones place. Where do I always start? In the ones place. So my first step is to add the ones. What is my first step? Add the ones. I have 1 1 in my first number, 2 1s in my second number. So 1 1 plus 2 1s equals 3 1s. I can show that in my algorithm as well. 1 1 plus 2 1s equals 3 1s. Okay, have a think. What was my first step? Turn and face your partner. Partner A told partner B. What was my first step?
So I relate what students are learning to a whole topic in way of daily review and activate prior knowledge as well. And so when they start their daily review, in this case it was on rates, which is something that links closely to unit pricing. So they just learn rates, they review that as part of the lesson, and then when we go into our activate prior knowledge, it's usually a skill that they have recently learned, or that is just prior knowledge that's useful for their information in that lesson. So they know that it relates closely to rates, then they can kind of make that connection to rates and unit pricing. So A, we've got 30 seconds into 5 minutes, so we need to change these to the same unit. If I changed 5 minutes into seconds, how many seconds would I get, please? We've got someone absent. Can I please get Fernie?
1 to 10.
1 to 10, beautiful. Is that your final answer? How many minutes were in how many seconds were in 5 minutes though?
300.
300, so we've got 30 to 300, and then we simplify that to 1 to 10. Thank you so much.
This lesson on animal adaptations fits within the broader context of a knowledge unit on climate zones. I really like to take the information that they are gaining and try and attach that to something that they already know to provide a bit more sticky learning.
All right, guys, can you grab your red pencils out for me, please? Let's have a look at our answers. Remember, what we're doing is we're turning on the knowledge that we've already learnt. This is stuff we already know, so we're just refreshing ourselves before we learn about our new topic today. Okay, climate zones and characteristics. You should have put a line from one climate zone to one characteristic on your page. Let's see how we go. Polar zone, freezing temperatures day and night. Tick it if you got it correct. Beautiful. Mediterranean zone, let's have a look. Warm, dry summers, cool, mild winters. Mrs. Blomfield's holiday destination. Okay, arid zone. Sadie, what did you get? Arid zone, where did you put it?
I put it at very hot during the day and cold at night.
Right, show of hands, who else chose that one? Oh, superstars, good job.
When we're learning a new topic, we have lots of reading. We read together as a class and we learn as much as we can. We start with the explicit facts of the topic and then we move into a more real life scenario. So I will refer to something in the children's life that they can then call on and just to anchor that knowledge a bit further for them.
So just know that feeling you get, it's the middle of summer, you're out on the oval, you're playing, and you're so thirsty. And you get back to your bag and your water bottle's not there. Remember that feeling, that really dry feeling? Oh my goodness, that's the worst feeling. Makes you feel quite sick sometimes. So that's why we take our water bottles outside, isn't it? Out into our school bag. So we don't get that awful, thirsty, dehydrated feeling. Camels don't get to carry a water bottle, do they? Could you imagine a camel holding a water bottle in his side?